Hello and welcome to the Growing Green podcast. Your host, Jeremiah Jennings, is the owner of Growing Green Landscapes in Birmingham, Alabama, and has a passion for growing the entrepreneurship community for those who are young in business. Being a business owner isn't easy, especially in the early years, and that's why in this show we dive into a wide range of topics covering all the challenges small business owners deal with. Even if your company is generating $1 million or more, the stories from our great guest and Jeremiah's own firsthand experiences will propel your business forward. And now, here's your host, Jeremiah Jennings.
What's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode today here on the Growing Green podcast. This is your host, Jeremiah Jennings, and I am so excited to be coming to you today with another fresh new episode for you, and I hope you are doing fantastic. So it's been a minute since we did a solo show. We did a bunch of solo shows back to back, and then we had some good guests on, and now we are rocking back with another solo show. And so don't know exactly what we're going to get into today. You know, we just normally hit record, put the mic up to our mouth, and then start talking, and then see where the show takes us. And that's probably what we're going to get into today. We got a few things that I do want to run through and talk about. And with the first of those is our sponsor, Launchpreneur Academy. Now, let me tell you guys, Launchpreneur Academy is not just out there. It's not just another like, hey, let's go buy a resource here, let's spend some money and not really get anything out of it. This is the turn to place if you want contracts, if you want resources to help grow your business, help grow your lawn and landscape company, and take it to another level. And this is something that Brian and his team has put together there over the past couple of years and have built, and the resources there are top notch. I've personally used many of the resources, the contracts, the rate increase letters, all of the things there at the store. I've used most of them up there. Now, there's a few that I haven't picked up. We don't do snow contracts and things, so I haven't picked up those, but I know they're of value. I know people that have and that love them, and so they are a tremendous value for you to go snag and grab and take home with you. So go check out launchpreneuracademy.com and see everything that they have going on up there. The whole ball of wax, I think he just finished up a sale on that. But I tell you what, Launchpreneur Academy Live is coming up. That's his live event that is going on in Novi, Michigan, November the 11th. So you don't want to miss that. I'm telling you what, it's an event that is electric. It's a packed crowd. It always is. And we can't wait to see you there. So I just hope everyone takes advantage of Launchpreneur Academy, doesn't take it for granted, the resources that are out there. Because I tell you what, it wasn't there when I started. And if it was, it actually might have been, but it was in its very infancy. And so I didn't know anything about it. And definitely weren't the resources there that are there today, that are on there now, weren't there when I was starting. And so if you're in the beginning stages, or here's the thing, even if you're not in the beginning stages, but you just have been doing business the wrong way the last couple years, or maybe your entirety of being in business, then this is a place to go. Make your business not a joke. And that's actually what the show title was going to be today. That's kind of what was on my mind. What I wanted to talk about is your business a joke? And these resources can help you not have a joke of a business. They can give you professional looking contracts. They can give you professional verbiage, things like that. It also connects you with other people who can help grow your verbiage and things, your team in these resources, because you can link up with Postcard Mania, and they can help you in some mail outs and things. So check everything out there, and they can really, really help you. A lot of assets to help you grow your business. But I mentioned it, just grazed over it really quickly. Is your business a joke? And that almost sounds kind of harsh. You might hear that and say, man, why are you coming at me like that? That's not my intent for today's show by any stretch of the imagination. But I do want to maybe ruffle some feathers, maybe wake you up, maybe get you ready for fall and winter coming up here, because this is stuff that I talk to myself about. These are conversations that I have in my head and that me and Savannah have, and just in preparations for seasons to come, years to come. And I have to make sure that our business is not a joke. You need to wake up to the fact that it is the beginning of September. Leaves are going to start falling within the next 2 to 3 weeks here in Alabama, for most of you within the next month, even up north. And when leaves start falling, you can start counting down the days to when your season comes to a close. Now, if you do snow, it's a different story, but even snow is hit or miss. You should never bank on snow money. That's what I've always heard. I know there's a few places where it's guaranteed you'll get snow, up in the Great Lakes and things like that. I think it's pretty much guaranteed you get snow. Don't quote me on that. I don't know. I'm just going off what people I see on Instagram and things, trying to link up with them and where they're at geographically. But I know that you should never bank on snow money. At least that's what all the gurus say. Or not the gurus, I'm just messing. But anybody who has a snow business says don't bank on snow. And so that sounds like sound advice to me. And so you have to realize we are in the home stretch of the season. And you have to look back and reflect on your business and say, man, has my business made any money this year? You may have cash flowed a lot. You may have done a lot of top line revenue, but has your business actually made money? This is something that I sit here and really struggle with, and sometimes in my business, and I'm being totally transparent. Like, our business is not all figured out. It's definitely do not have it all figured out by any stretch of the imagination. But one thing that we're doing is we're adapting, we're learning, and we're growing along the way. And when problems arise, when we look at the statements, the reports at the end of the month, and we say, and we see that we don't have the money that we need to have there, then what do? We put systems and processes in place to help those things go away. We have struggled very, very heavily with production this year, with getting enough work produced in a timely manner. And my labor has been through the roof. Excuse me there. My labor has been through the roof. And we've done good. Like, we've done a lot of work. We've done a lot of, we've produced a lot of revenue, but we're not producing it in a timely manner. And we're trying to figure out what that is. What are the problems behind that? Is it guys not doing it fast enough? Is it them sitting on their phones? Is it that our routes aren't tight? Is it that we're driving too much? Is it that we have inefficiencies from loading and unloading and things like that? And so these are all things that we're working through currently. And I want to bring it to your attention because it's easy to gloss over. It's easy to see the money coming in the bank account and say, man, we're doing good. We're doing all right. And we're doing great. But then guess what? Guess what comes? Winter comes, guys. Winter. Winter is a powerful thing. And if you don't do snow, then you really could be hurting this winter. And I know there's a lot of guys out there who like dread winter coming up. And that should not be the case. That's the thing, is like, if you're not running a joke of a business, I guess I should say, and this is very harsh. I might get canceled for this, but if you're not running a business that needs improvements, then you should be doing good in the winter. And it doesn't mean you have to be producing an amazing amount of revenue, but you should be able to stay afloat and survive winter without just grinding yourself to death, racking up credit card debt because you have to roll things over. And this is not me top-down approach. Like, it's not what I'm saying. I've been through tough winters. Like, last winter was not easy for us either. Like, we kept a guy on full time. And this is me pointing back at myself and saying, hey, I have a joke of a business at some point. And it's like, that's tough to hear. It's tough to hear, but it's necessary. It's necessary because until you figure out how to not have a business that is struggling in certain areas, then such as labor. Okay, labor's hard. Labor's hard to deal with. It's a problem for everybody. You might always struggle with it. Yes, I understand that. But until you get to the point where you can at least like function and put systems in place, put a process in place to where that is not your biggest hang up. And here's the thing, if it is your biggest hang up, then something is going wrong. Like, if you cannot keep guys in, then something wrong. There's something in the process that's missing. And that's where I'm trying to say, like, you have to work on these things throughout the year. You have to, if you have 3 guys leave, then ask those guys, why are you leaving? And maybe they just no call, no show, they just drop out. Like, there's guys like that, I understand. You're not going to get a good explanation from them. But maybe you need to change your hiring process. Maybe you need to change your vetting process. Like, all of these things come into factor when it comes into talking about running a legit business. And maybe that's what I should say. Maybe I shouldn't say you're running a joke of a business. Maybe I should say, is your business legit? And that's a little more PC. But the point I'm trying to get across is the fact of the matter that we all have things we can be working on. And the majority of us out there, myself included, are not where we need to be and have room for improvement, have drastic room for improvement. And so what are we doing on an active daily basis to make our businesses more legit? And that comes down to, you hear systems and processes coming, and we talk about that all the time. What is a system and a process? You heard us talk about that with Megan and Joey Coberly. Like, hiring a bookkeeper is a system and a process. that's one of the first ones you can put into your business. When you start making $100,000 top line, you got a lot of money coming in, a lot of money going out. You need to have somebody tracking that money and making sure that you are doing things legally and correct. And a bookkeeper is a great first system to put in place because they can manage these transactions. They can reconcile accounts. They can account for lost money. People that aren't paying you, they can say, hey, this invoice was sent, but it hasn't been paid yet. Things that the business owner doesn't usually catch. That's a system that helps your business flow more smoothly, helps maintain profit, and also frees up some of your time so you're not doing it. Okay, what is another system and process? A system and process that you could implement, like we just talked about, is a hiring process. What does that look like? You do certain things every time you hire a new employee. You have a new hire form. You have an interview process, whether that be go meet at Starbucks and have coffee, or have them come do a working interview for you for half a day, and then have a sit down after, or talk over the phone, or get a resume, get some references from people they've worked for in the past. Like all of these things that are a part of this is something that you have to adapt and put into your own system and process. But these are things that you have to take and actually implement in your business to make your business more legit. Like you look at the big businesses out there, look at the big businesses who are not, at the end of the day, fighting for profit. They're not fighting to stay in business every year. What have they done? What are things that they do correctly every single year? They have correct systems and processes. Their hiring process is pretty laid out there for you. It's pretty simple. And maybe it's not simple, but maybe it can be complex, but it's simple because here's the plan. Like here's what we do. When you come on to be hired here, these are the processes you go through. And it's hard to say, man, let's do that when you have one or two people. I understand. When you have a one-man team or a two-man team, like that stuff gets hard, but it's necessary. And we've implemented a company handbook here recently, and that's something that we have now. Our company is more legit because of that, because now guys can look at that and say, hey, we were late for 3 days. What is the policy for that? What is that? And so when I enforce that policy, they can't just get mad at me and think I'm being irrational. I can turn to them and say, look, no, it's here. Like it's in the handbook. When you miss a day, when you no call, no show. Okay. What is the policy for that? If you break something, what is the policy for that? Quarterly bonuses, whatever you want to put in there, you put in there. But that's something that these guys can turn to, and it frees up a lot of stress because you don't have to feel like you're gypping somebody, cheating somebody, because it's there on paper. Like this is what the system is. This is what the process is. It's plain as day. And so those are three quick things that you could put in to help your system and processes. But back to the thing of like legitimizing your business, not having a joke of a business. You have to realize that like winter is coming, and if you're not being smart in your financial purchases this time of the year and the way you're spending, then it's going to come back and bite you in January, because you're going to be continuing these purchases probably, and you're not going to have the same amount of revenue coming in. And you can't just look at your bank account. If this is what I said, you can't just look at your bank account and say, oh, there's money coming in, we're good. Like, yeah, you're good for another 2 months. But then when those 2 months are up, what are you going to do? What are you going to do when December rolls around? Christmas is right in the corner. You want to buy gifts for your kids and a nice present for your wife, but you can't because there's no money in the bank. There's no money in the business, much less money in your personal account. And like, again, this is not a top-down approach. This is me speaking to myself. Like we're not a figured out business. Like we're not. Like at the end of the day, you could probably call my business a joke. Now, a joke in the grand scheme of business is different. You have to look at that and say, what does that mean? Like it depends on what you're saying the definition of a joke of a business is. And like I said, that might be the wrong term to use. The legit business, I guess is what you say. Maybe it's a business that is ever developing. And I guess every business is ever developing. But so here's my thought. I'm just talking this out as we go. I'm not going to edit this, whatever. Like if people get mad and click off because I say your business is a joke, whatever. Don't listen. Don't come back. I don't care. If you're here, you're listening, and you're actually tracking my thought process as I talk this out, then maybe you understand where I'm coming from. It's not me saying your business is a joke. It's me saying, like, because my business isn't a joke. It's not a joke of a business. We're a pretty established company, but my business is not as legit as it should be. And I look at it and say, how can we change this? How can we be better? Other people may look at it and say, hey, he's got it all figured out. This is where we're at. And that might be what the public sees, but I'm looking at it from the backside of you. And you have to do that for your own business. People in your community, your family might say, man, you're making a lot of money, man. You're rocking, business is rolling. You're always busy. But are you holding on to profit at the end of the day? Or do you have systems and processes in place? Do you have employees who want to show up and work every day, who enjoy their work environment? Does your wife support the business? Are y'all in a good, healthy mental state? Are you bringing money into your personal bank account from the business? Like, these are all things you have to take into consideration when you ask yourself the question, is my business legit? And on top of all of this, like actual like day-to-day business stuff, we could get into a whole nother realm of like legitness as far as licensing goes and insurance and all of that stuff. And that is something that we could spend a whole show talking about. We've actually done a show with my insurance agent probably a year and a half ago by now. Just search Paul Perry and it should come up. And you'll hear him talking about the importance of insurance in a business. And it's like, these are things that I will say this, and you can cancel me if you want to. Your business is considered a joke if you do not have some type of at least liability policy over your business, because your business is so vulnerable. Like, if you do anything that you break something that's worth $20,000, you wreck and you kill somebody. Like, you ever take it to the extreme. You sling a rock and you hit little Susie's head and you kill her. Like, that's the extreme. But let's bring it back to just, hey, a tire blows on a trailer, you lose control, and you hit an old person that can't get out of the way. And they don't die, but you total their car. Or you do $30,000 worth of damage to an $80,000 Mercedes. Okay? The car might not be totaled, but who's going to pay for that to get fixed? Who's going to pay for that? If you don't have insurance, you're going to pull that $30,000 out of your pocket to go do it? And the reason I'm hitting on this and talking about these points is because I know how easy it is to get in the day-to-day and not get this stuff done. Not like, we'll get it next week, we'll get it next month, or we'll get it next year. When we have 50 clients, we'll get insurance. Like, if you have 10 clients, you should have insurance. Like, liability insurance is so cheap for a business. Like, it's so modest. It's not, yeah, there's money involved. It's a couple $100 a year, but it's like, the protection that gives you is worth every single penny. So that's another reason. Ask yourself, is your business legit? Do I have the right insurances? Do I have the right licenses, business licenses, chemical licenses, setting landscape planting licenses? Like, these are all things that I'm having to deal with. Like, we have certain licenses in our state that we don't have, that I'm working towards getting this winter. And it's like, can I consider myself a legitimate business until I have all of those? And it's hard to say yes or no to that question. It's really just to say, am I improving? Am I pushing towards these things? And you have to be careful, because in your states, you can get in a lot of trouble if you don't have certain licenses. And I know, like, California is a perfect example. Like, they have insane licensing laws and things like that. In Alabama, it's not as strict, but it's like, hey, these are still things that we should be working towards to improve our business and to make our business more legit. Like, I guess as I've talked all this out, here's what I think you could say your business is legit. If you have somebody from the outside who's been in business for, let's say, 15 years, 20 years, come into your business, you open it up, you say, here's all my financials, here's all of our systems, here's all of our employees, here's our licenses, our insurance, here's everything. Here are the intestines of our business. And they can comb through it all, and they come back to you and say, hey, this looks pretty good. Like, you're doing all right. Like, there's some minor things here to fix, but at the end of the day, you're legal, you're operating safely, you have insurance, your team seems to enjoy where they're at. Like, you can do, like, they can come in and talk to your employees and say, how do they, like, interview them and say, how is your work experience? What is your work life environment like? Like, what is your work life balance? Does your employer care about your family at all? Like, talk through all these things. And they come back to you at the end of that and say, yeah, your business is doing pretty good. Then that might be a way to judge, is your business legit or not? I don't know. You make that decision for yourself. But as I'm sitting here, I'm like, yeah, like, we couldn't really do that right now. If I'm being totally honest and transparent, like, we have things in our business day to day that we're having to fix. And somebody couldn't come sit here and go through our business with a fine tooth comb and say, yeah, you're good. And it's like, what do we do to fix that? And so we're in that stage right now. Like, we're in year 5 of business, but we're really in year 3. Like, we operated for year 1 and 2. But it wasn't everything that we weren't totally legit. I don't even know if we had insurance at that point. I think we did. I'm pretty sure we had insurance the whole time, but there were definitely certain systems and things that we weren't doing. Our routes weren't tight at all. Like, that's part of having a legit business. Are you driving all over creation? Or are you keeping tight routes and keeping things modest and keeping your expenses modest and things like that? Like, these are all things you have to just look at and compare and say, hey, what am I doing to make my business more legit and improve it? And if you're working to improve it and putting these things in place, then I would say, hey, you're working towards being a legitimate business. And it's hard to play the compare game, because you can look at a lot of big businesses and from the outside, they might be doing great, but you get to them on the inside and they might not have any money at all. Like Corey Ballard openly shares his story about Perfect Cut, about how they were doing millions of dollars. And at the end of the year, they didn't make any money. They lost money.
This is your invitation to L'Entrepreneur Academy Live 2023 in Novi, Michigan, Saturday, November 11th. The lineup is power-packed. You won't want to miss it. Learn from incredible speakers like Leroy Maines, Keith Kalfas, Caleb and Brittany Allman, Sam Gimble, Weston Zimmerman, and Jeff Joyner, just to name a few. Tickets are on sale now at the early bird registration price of $197. And hurry, because seating is limited to just 300. Early bird registration ends October the 2nd. After that, the ticket price jumps $50, so snag your tickets today. Once you purchase your ticket, you'll be added to our private Facebook group, where you can network with other attendees, get access to the discounted hotel room block, and get the inside scoop for the Friday night party, brought to you by Kohler. Thank you to this year's sponsors, Xmark, Sure Track Trailers, Yard Book, and Boss Snowplow for helping to bring this incredible event to life. We can't wait to see you November 11th, Novi, Michigan, at L'Entrepreneur Academy Live 2023. Get your ticket today at l'entrepreneuracademy.com or use the link in the podcast description. L'Entrepreneur Academy Live.
And so, would you say his business is legit? I don't know. Like that, you make that decision yourself. But if he had somebody who's been in business for 30 years come through with a fine-tooth comb and look at his business, they would say, you're absolutely not legit. Like, your financials are just out of whack. And it's like, guys, what are we doing before we get to that point? Like, that you should take Corey's situation and say, hey, how do we avoid getting to this point? Because now Corey has, like, he successfully turned Perfect Cut around. They became very profitable. He sold it. They've now been acquired, and now he's working on Ballard full time. And like, he's got a lot of stuff going on. He's totally made his business legit. Ballard is a legitimate company. Perfect Cut is a legitimate company. They're not jokes of companies, but those are things that he learned and adapted and grew with along the way. And so you have to do that at the early stage, though. Do that when you're 1, 2, 3-man crews. Because that's what I'm doing right now. And that's why I hope this resonates with you, is because I'm talking and thinking about things that I have to fix in my day-to-day, everyday business. And so we're a lawn and landscape company. We cut grass. We lay sod. We put plants in the ground. Like, we do these things. And it's like, hey, what do we need to be doing to be the most legit there is? Or just how do we come across the most professional, the most put together of a business that we can. And so that's kind of what I was thinking about this afternoon, what was on my mind, and like, is your business legit? And it's not something that's super complex. It's just something you have to think about. And I don't mean to be harsh. Like, I'm sorry if I stepped on toes, if I'm implying your business is a joke. I'm not saying your business is a joke, but I'm saying it probably needs to be more legit than it is. And that is Growing Green Landscapes included. So that comes down to getting back with people in a timely manner, following up with people when you send out an estimate, sending out the estimate and not forgetting to send it out, meeting with clients in a timely manner and getting them the estimate sent to them. Like, these are all things. Like, there's so many variations of things that go along with running a quote unquote legit business that you have to put into place. And that's why I say, like, it's not a one size fits all. Like, you have to do a ton of different things to make yourself legit, as you could say. And so we're working towards it. I hope that you're working towards it. I stress the winter situation because I think a lot of guys are riding on the summer high right now. You've done the best year you've ever done. You're doing a ton of total gross revenue, but are you holding on to the profit that you need to be holding on to? Just please look at that. Look at those reports. Even if you don't have a bookkeeper, get on QuickBooks and get it to run a profit and loss for you and see what it says. if you need to know how to do that, check out Megan and Joey with the Landscaping Bookkeeper, because they will help you. Like they have the potential to transform your business and make it totally legit. Like they see the ins, the outs, the ups, the downs, and they tell you without biased opinion. They just say, look, the numbers don't lie. Like this is what you need to do. And so winter is quickly approaching. You want to be able to go into winter and enjoy the holidays, enjoy taking some time off, enjoy living life, because and reflect on how hard you worked over the summer. That's the benefit. That's the beauty of running seasonal businesses. Like you can look back and say, man, we worked really hard. Now let's take a week or two off and enjoy it, and then get back to the grind and keep our employees going and things like that. But, just find out what your employees want. What do they want? Time off? Do they want more money? What is it that they want, and incentivize that. And that will in turn help you grow your team immensely. Even if it doesn't grow in numbers, it'll grow them because they want to actually show up and work every day and want to help you produce and want to help the company grow. And it's just like, man, what can we do to be putting things in place to help our business become more legit? And so those are just a few things that I had on my mind today. It's nothing crazy. I didn't write any notes down. It's just me freelancing here. And I hope it didn't come across, like I said, I've said this 7 times. I hope it didn't come across as rude, but I just want to come across and tell you that, like, hey, winter's coming. Make the necessary plans you need to provide for your family and keep everything up and running. Do not let the business fall into the ground, because it definitely can, and we don't want that to happen. But you want to also make sure that your personal life is good. Are you putting money in your personal account every month from your business is personal, like your personal pay, aside from the business profit? That's something you have to look at. And that depends on, you can only do that certain ways as far as like writing yourself a paycheck every week. Depends on your status as far as tax filing and things. But these are all things that we're working through, guys. Like, this is not me coming top down. This is me talking to myself out loud about things we need to fix. And pretty literally, like almost every point I've brought up, we have to work on. We have to fix. But we get to do it together. That's the beauty of having guys like you out there that are listening and helping our audience grow and like creating an awesome community, because you can come listen to this show, share it on your Instagram today, and somebody else might listen to it and say, hey, we're not the only one going through this stuff. Like, everyone else is too. Because I know there's guys out there, I'm talking to you on the mower right now, that is saying, man, I'm not seeing the money in the bank account that I need to. I know winter's coming. Like, fall temps are already arriving in some places. I know winter's coming, but I don't have the money to provide and survive all winter. What are we going to do? Like, you're asking yourself that question. You've thought about that today on the mower. And so, like, this show is for you. This show is for me. This show is for everyone out there who's in that position of like, hey, we have things we need to fix in our company. Let's work on those every single day. Let's not get lazy. Let's not get lax. Let's not give up on our dreams. Let's keep pushing forward. But don't get caught up in just the day-to-day work either. It's very easy to get caught up in the mowing grass, the trimming bushes, the planting plants, and the laying sod. It's very easy to get backed up on the filing of receipts, the meeting with bookkeepers, the depositing of checks, the reading financial reports, the keeping up with the insurances. Okay. And I said that because I'm sitting here looking at a stack of receipts on my desk that need to be filed, meeting with bookkeepers coming up here soon, checks that need to be deposited. Like, this is me literally like talking out loud of things that I have to work on. And so just know that we're all in this together. Like, we are all in this together. Everyone out there in this community that is trying to shine a light out there and be a lighthouse has gone through your problems, is going through your problems, or will go through your problems. No matter what stage of business you're at, they will arise. And I hope that it resonates with you, because we're at that point where, like, we're going through this stuff. And there's a lot of guys out there who are further along in business than us that have this stuff figured out. Awesome. Fantastic. I'm glad for them. And we need to be trying to get there as fast as we can. But it doesn't happen overnight. It's just little things that we learn along the way. And so I hope that you learn along the way as well and grow and realize, hey, we can do this. We can have a legit company. My company can be ran through with a fine-tooth comb and come out just fine. And a portion of our company did just have that done. Our payroll side just got audited. We just had a payroll audit back a month and a half ago. That was about a month-long process, and getting all the forms and things taken care of. And guess what? Everything was clear as day. We were Gucci. Everything was great. And so that was awesome. That felt great at the end of the day to say, hey, look, all of our books are clean. Here's all of our stubs. Here's everything. Here's all of our reports. All of our payroll taxes paid on time. And that's all thanks to QuickBooks. Like, that's all thanks to a system and a process in QuickBooks, auto payroll taxes every quarter. And it's just like, if that wasn't keeping up with that, I wouldn't. So it's the same thing with a bookkeeper. If the bookkeeper's not keeping up with it, you won't. And it's like, I would have gotten that payroll audit and I would have been scrambling around with a chicken with my head cut off trying to come up with payroll payments to the IRS and all of this stuff. And it's like, why would I do that? Why would I do that? Where now I'm one step closer to being legitimized. I went through an actual audit and we're good to go. And so it's nice to see we're on the other side of that. We're moving forward. We're going to keep this process in place. We're going to actually we're going to tweak a few of these things. And other than that, we're good to go. And so if you've all gone through those situations, then I hope that it can resonate to you. If you haven't gone through them yet, guess what? You're going to go through them. These thoughts will go through your head throughout the year. And you just need to realize you're not alone. Everyone out here is going through or has gone through or will go through all of these points. And so it's not anything crazy today on the show, but it's something that I hope kind of gets you through your midweek. It's not very like energetic or upbeat, but it's something that says, hey, let's sit back and think and actually process what is our business? What are we doing? Is it a joke? Is it legit? What stage are we at? What year are we in? What processes can we change? And really at the end of the day, how can we become a better business owner and a better person and a better leader, both in home and in business and in life in general? And so those are things that I hope that you can resonate with and reflect on and maybe listen to it again and just say, man, like that's actually a point that I'm trying to work through right now and figure out how to do that. If we can ever help you talk through any of these things, you can set up a coaching call, a consulting call, whatever you want to call it. I don't really care. I think I put consulting in the actual link, but because I'm not trying to sit here and coach you. I want to help you. I want to guide you. But I'm going to consult with you and talk about, hey, like these are things that I've gone through. This is what we're going through. Maybe this helps you. And so it's like, it's just a guidance. It's just overall guidance. If you want to get on the phone and chat, I'd be happy to do it. The link in the show notes to do that is right in the show notes there. So go click that and we can set up a time to do it. If you want to follow along with us on Instagram, then go over to there at Growing Green Landscapes and do that. If you want to check out the YouTube channel, check out Growing Green Podcast. We just dropped a video with Jason Creel talking about his truck setup for Alabama Lawn Pros and the Lawn Care Life. And so those are all the things we got going on right now. Equip is coming up. Today is the 6th. You have one more day to register and get early bird pricing of $12.50. I highly suggest you do it. Use code GG50, and we look forward to seeing everybody in Louisville in October. And so, guess what? That's going to wrap this one up. If you're tired of hearing me talk, then we're going to wrap it up. If you're not tired, then go back and listen to our other 280-something shows and get caught up to where we are live today. And then follow along with us as we go into the future. We got a lot of big things coming. A lot of things, bright future here for the show. I'm excited to see what the future holds, and just can't say any more that how thankful we are for all of you listening in and supporting the show along the way, along the journey. It's been great. We saw some great reviews come in over the past couple of weeks, and actually, let's take a minute before we wrap the show up and read those because they mean a lot, and you deserve your time because like when you take the time to leave a well-worded review, I want to take the time and relay that to you because it means a lot to me. So great podcast, Bladescapes by Brandon. I came across this podcast from listening to The Kid Contractor, parentheses, sorry, but you have to thank Caleb for this one. Great show with helpful information for anyone in the green industry. Marriage Mondays are also great. Thanks for all the hard work putting these podcasts together. Thank you, Brandon. It is a lot of hard work, but it's so rewarding. And I guess we can say thanks to Caleb for letting me be on his show and kind of share our audience with his platform. And it means the world that we have created some great friends in them. And him and Caleb and Brittany up there in Ohio, they're doing awesome things with Almond Landscape and the Hardscape Academy. So check them out as well. Hardscape Academy, there's a lot of great things you can learn from them. And that is that. So setting outdoor. be on the right side of history. That is also an Allman quote. So it sounds like he's kind of got everything mixed up there, but we appreciate it. We'd love to be on the right side of history by listening to this show. If you're searching for a podcast to help grow not only your business, but also your personal life and marriage, then look no further. Jeremiah's a young entrepreneur, but is a wealth of knowledge and fun to listen to. Make no mistakes about it. Time spent listening to this podcast is time well invested. Well, I don't know about that, but I hope you at least get some good entertainment out of it and a few bits of nuggets of knowledge along the way. And so we really appreciate that. Thank you for the kind words, Josh. Josh is actually working through 75 Hard right now. He is currently on, let me pull up really fast. Let's do this live on the air. He's been posting his his progress every day. And he is on day 52 right now. So awesome for Josh. He is working his way through there. He's coming up on the home stretch. That's when it got the hardest for us. But I tell you what, him and Julia are doing awesome. It's so great seeing people start to do this journey. It was great for us, and I think it really can be for you as well. Last one actually two more here. Totter's Turf was going through some really tough times here in southeast Wisconsin, near record drought conditions, so nothing to cut, spray, or fertilize. And to top it off, I had a customer owe me nearly $5,000. It's nice to hear about the good times, but sometimes a show like this is better. Prayed to God for rain, and we nearly got 4 inches this week. We could use more, but I'll take it. Great job, Totter's Total Turf Care. That's awesome. He was probably actually referencing a specific show. I don't know exactly which one that was, but let me see here. I might be able to pull it up. Channeling your inner entrepreneur. Could have been that's what it was. But talking about bringing forth your fortitude and what it takes to own a business, because it's not easy. A lot of tough times along the way. And I think that's what he's talking about there is like he was in a tough time, finally caught a break with some rain. Hopefully they're doing great out there in Wisconsin. Last thing from July, I got behind on these. Heigl Lawn Care, love this podcast. Hey, this is Cole. We met at Lawn and Landscape Society this past February. Y'all have helped me in every way possible with running a successful business and marriage and my marriage life. Just want to say thank you. Also inspired me starting a YouTube channel. So that is fantastic. Thank you for the kind words from everybody that follows along with us and leaves the ratings and reviews. It really does mean a lot. Like, those reviews, people will read those and say, hey, this might be a good show to listen to. So that's why we say it helps the algorithm boost us. And then also when people look at it, they say, hey, this is actually a good show. So Heigl Lawn Care. This is his YouTube channel. If you want to go check that out, just look them up here. Let's hit the subscribe button real fast. He's about to hit 500 subscribers. Let's get him to 500 subscribers. If you watch a lot of YouTube, then go check his channel out. He's talking about a lot about bad boy stuff. I think is what he's got. And so this is really, really cool. 2023 lawn care setup. That video did great for him. He's got 35,000 views almost on that thing. So go check that out. Help him get to 500 subscribers. Heigl Lawn Care there. And if I don't, forgive me if you listen to the show, I think he's in Mississippi. I think. But anyway, I hope that is a value to you today. If it is, leave us a big 5-star rating or review. If you leave us a review like that, we'll make sure and read it out, and I won't get so far behind in the future. But it really does mean the world. And so thanks for tuning in, guys. Check out that equip code GG50. If you want to do that, do it today. It ends tomorrow, so I highly suggest you getting that done now. But thank you for tuning in the show. It means the world to us. We're just here trying to grow the community one relationship at a time. But without any further ado, that's going to wrap this episode up, and we look forward to catching up with everybody here on the next one.
Thanks for tuning in to the Growing Green podcast. It is an honor to have you listening, and we hope you receive valuable advice to help take your business to the next level. Don't forget to follow the podcast so you'll be notified when our next episode drops.